Boris Johnson has suffered the most precarious week in his career since he came to power.
I believed implicitly that this was a work event.
Allegations over Partygate and the explanation he offered didn't wash with some of his MPs. We've had the first series of Tory MPs publicly go over the parapet calling for the Prime Minister to resign. Westminster is now awash with speculation that a leadership contest could be upon the party later this year. Here are the front runners to take over from Boris Johnson as Prime Minister. The Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, has sparked the most amount of intrigue this week after he waited more than 8 hours to tweet about the Prime Minister's intervention in the Commons over Partygate, and then was far from full-throated in his support. That's led to a lot of raised eyebrows among colleagues. This speculation about his leadership ambitions are far from new. MPs have been talking about his chances of succeeding Boris Johnson for months. Some think that he's possibly too closely tied to the Prime Minister in his role as Chancellor. Others think that his prospects could be damaged by the high-spend, high-tax policies he's put forward so far. Others think he has more leeway and cite the unexpected circumstances of the pandemic as explaining the policies he's chosen to date. Also in his favour is the complete contrast he offers to Boris Johnson. While Boris Johnson is a bon vivant, high-living, somewhat shambolic and chaotic in his governing style, Rishi Sunak is much more sober in character, indeed sober altogether as a teetotaler. He's very technocratic in his style, and in that sense, people who want a different style of governance from Boris Johnson might think that he provides the perfect foil for that. Liz Truss, the Foreign Secretary, is another leading candidate. She also took her time waiting to come out in support of the Prime Minister. That said, when she did come out, it was in more full-throated support. She claimed she had 100% backing for Boris Johnson. However, there's a lot of speculation in Westminster that she is the person with the most advanced campaign up and running. She's hosting Fizz with Liz nights with junior MPs, inviting small numbers of backbenchers to meet with her in what many see as a bid to corral support in an early stage of any future leadership contest. She's known to be very ambitious. She very consciously channels Margaret Thatcher, mimicking some of the iconic moments of Thatcher's premiership, including photo shoots in tanks, being coiffured in such a way that she almost mirrors Thatcher's exact style and hairstyle in some instances. It's important to note she has a high level of support in the wider membership of the Conservative Party. Conservative Home, the website that is the home for all grassroots members, regularly rates her as top of its league table of cabinet ministers. A big question is who the One Nation or centrist Tory MP's candidate would be. There's a lot of chatter at the moment about Jeremy Hunt having a second tilt at the leadership. There's a sense that he is a big beast, having held the Health Secretary post for a long time, been a long-standing cabinet member, someone with a lot of experience. However, others wonder whether, having made it to the final two and been rejected by the party membership already, whether there's any point in putting him up again to face the membership, whether he'd fare any better. There's also concern that as a former health secretary, he may have a finger pointed at him in a lack of appropriate planning for COVID-19 in a way that could damage his future leadership ambitions. There's a lot of chatter in Westminster about other names too, including Priti Patel, the Home Secretary, Michael Gove, the Community Secretary, Steve Baker, a former hardline Brexiteer who's Deputy Chairman of the COVID Recovery Group, Mark Harper, who is Chairman of the COVID Recovery Group that has been very sceptical of lockdown. Again, on the One Nation front, Tom Tugendhat, the Chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, is another name people think they might like to see run in a future race.